Welcome back, everyone. This is Politics Tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us as we focus on Ondo State politics. And I've been speaking with Dr. Soji Enyilanwo as an APC governorship aspirant for Ondo 2024 governorship election. Yes, thank you so much for staying with us. Now, what are your chances of getting the tickets?
I'm very hopeful. I'm a firm believer in God. You know, we're doing the work that we should be doing. We're sending a message across. I believe, I've got a pedigree. Indeed, I believe that in terms of, with all sense of modesty amongst all of those who represent themselves, I stand tall in terms of experience, in terms of vision, in terms of exposure. So and we're doing all the work. We're sending the message across to our leaders that we need somebody who can, sort of do much more for our state, who can, give our party the chance to present very high quality. So, against all of that background, I think I'm very, and I think I'm a bridge. I see myself as somebody. I'm a bridge builder, somebody who can unify the party in such a way that we get very, very, very good victory.
Right, so what exactly are you saying to the party delegates and the stakeholders to, I don't know, to entice them, if that's the right word to use?
Well, what I'm saying is that we got to think about our state. That is very, very important. We got to think about victory. We got to think about who can get our state, who can bring that kind of prosperity, shared prosperity, who can bring inclusive, who can bring responsible leadership, transparent leadership, somebody who is accessible, who is a servant leader, yeah, and that's without sense of modesty, that's the way I present myself. Somebody who is going, if you choose, you can assess, and who will see himself as your servant, so to say. But I come from a background where I see leadership as service, and that's what I'm presenting. We want some kind of paradigm shift, so to say. And that's what I think I embody, and that's what I'm telling the delegates.
So what is your economic blueprint for Ondo State? Well,
in terms of economic, I've said it several times. Agriculture will be central in terms of my economy. We see what is happening now, in terms of food and all of that. Our country, not just our state, needs to invest in agriculture. We need to mobilize very aggressively our people, particularly the youths, into agriculture. Modern farming methods, modern agriculture, and all of that kind of stuff. We need to do that. That's going to be central in terms of my economic policy. Also, we need to ensure the government led by Governor Akeredolu, had an economic situation where it had industrial hubs, which we call Ondo Industrial Hub. I want to consolidate on those kind of things, where we have, across the three senatorial zones, we have industrial hubs in those sectors, where we try to draw investments into the state, aggressively look for investment into the state, and encourage medium and small scale enterprises to grow. And this is which will mainly be anchored by youths and women. This is very important because we need to be able to drive the quality of life of Ondo State people generally to such a level that it's quite impressive, and be able to share prosperity amongst our people. So those industrial hubs will be a core. I want to develop tourism within our state, for example. We've got several opportunities to develop tourism within the state. The Arami seaside in Ondo State, in the Riverine area, is as opportunities to be developed. I want to focus on that. Idori Hills, the Olawas Palace, our museum. Across the state we have got places where could be well developed to enhance the tourism potential of the state. That's very important to me. We've got Ondo State is very rich. Bitumen, we produce the largest in Africa. I want to work with the government, with federal government, to ensure that this is speedily developed. For example, I also want to see a situation. We had the concept of the deep sea port. We need to develop that. The diversity of things that I want to do, and if the people given the mandate, my government, the government that I intend to form, will be a government of urgency, action, and excellence.
Right. Let's talk about security. The late Governor Akeredolu initiated the Amotekun Corps, which has practically helped Southwest in terms of security. How do you intend to improve on that?
Yes, let me just say that before I answer that question directly, I think that's one issue that's one focus of my administration. If people give me the chance, we want to develop security. Security is pivotal to everything, and on the basis of that, I commend the effort of Governor Akeredolu. This is one of the areas where he actually led, because he understood, particularly given what happened in Ondo State, that security was very pivotal. I intend to strengthen that at Amotekun. And thankfully, we're not talking about state police. The president has given his support, and all of the shifts are in favor of that. We want to give whatever as much support as possible to that to ensure that happens. We want to have a situation where there's zero tolerance, for criminality, zero tolerance for any for all the impunities that you see in terms of criminality. So we want to develop that. So we will strengthen Amotekun while we're trying to ensure that the state police comes.
How do you intend to strengthen Amotekun?
Equipment, for example, as much as possible, negotiate with the federal government to ensure that we get all of the equipment. We find a situation where kidnappers, for example, are using very sophisticated weapons. Very sophisticated weapons, and we find that these guys who are in the Amotekun and all of the local security forces, they don't have this kind of equipment. It's an uphill battle. So we intend to ensure to reverse this kind of trend, invest money, put money in giving them all of the things that they need, equipment, transportation, and fighting instruments and all of that, to ensure that we nip in the bud that the criminality that we see in the state. Indeed, I'm one of the advocates of no tolerance at all, for kidnapping. Whatever we can do, even if it comes to capital punishment, to ensure that we wipe that out.
So what about education? What are your plans?
Education. Education is pivotal. I want to see a situation. I want to work towards a situation where we can provide as much access to every kid to be able to have quality education, free, affordable education. That's what we're working into. I don't know how the budget is like, but we're working towards that, because we don't want a situation where any kid is left behind. It saddens me when sometimes when I have to sort of move around and I see kids. Some of the kids who are not going to school, who are unable to go, simply maybe because they're unable to afford it. This is a situation we want to reverse. So we'll be spending as much as possible to ensure, one, that we have quality schools, we have affordable schools, we have schools that almost every kid can have access to.
Right. So Ondo State has 240,000 out-of-school children. How do you intend to, what practical steps?
Well,
I need practical steps that you will take in reducing this to the barest minimum.
Oh yeah, well, the one will ensure that we renovate and build more schools, yeah, to ensure that we have schools that cover, the whole segment of the state. So such that every kid, there's no excuse in terms of there are no adequate facilities in schools, or the schools are not there. So we want to ensure that we try to provide those facilities, we provide those schools which are not in good shape. We invest, we put practical money on that, and we educate the parents to ensure that all of the kids are put in school. We may even go as far as making it imperative, making it a crime, if you like. If a child is of school going age and is not in school, we have to send strong signals that is not acceptable anymore. Because the future of our kids are very, very important, and we need to ensure that there's that inclusion in respect of that.
Healthcare system.
Yes.
What are your plans?
Healthcare. Well, I'm not a believer in building a very, very massive health institutions. Yes, we can have a few of them, but I'm more interested in ensuring that we enhance the health institutions that we have. We build institutions across the nooks and crannies of the state, where people can easily get to an hospital from no matter where how remote they are within the state. They can easily get to hospital, access the facilities, and ensure that those facilities are affordable. They are able to afford it. Free health service is something that we will be looking to do. Maybe not in the short term, but ultimately.
Right. So I'm also very particular about the high rate of infant mortality in Ondo State.
Yes.
What do you plan to do about this?
Yes, infant mortality. We need to. Education is very important. We need to ensure that constantly we have health practitioners on the field, educating mothers, educating in the remotest parts, educating mothers about how to ensure they give the children the best life. They provide for the children. All the things that they need to do in terms of health. That's one approach. The other approach is, of course, like I said, ensuring that we recruit the right personnel. We bring in the right people across the different health facilities that we have to ensure that the children are targeted in a preventive manner, in a way that prevents all of the illnesses that lead to the mortality, of course. So education, as well as investing in facilities and recruitment and all of that aggressively is how we intend to tackle that.
Right. So, I mean, we'll talk more, but then how do you intend to also increase the IGR of Ondo State?
The only way to increase IGR is to be able to draw investments. People must see that our state, there must be greater confidence that our state is a place to go to if you want to invest. And that is a function of the signal we give in terms of what we say about the security of the state, what we say about all of the opportunities for investors. We need to draw investors, make the states secure, ensure that we give them incentives to come and invest in the state. That is, I'm talking about outside investors. But internally, of course, we need to have in place institutions, organizations, where government targets ensures that it targets our people. We give them support in terms of credit. We ensure that local investors, local entrepreneurs, medium and small-scale entrepreneurs are encouraged, are supported in every way. So all that support, I intend to have, have an agency that will be targeted at supporting small and medium-scale entrepreneurs in a way that ensures that we're able to boost the amount of investment, the amount of jobs, the amount of work in this field. If you have that kind of situation, of course, what it translates to is increase in revenue. Free flow of investments, as well as stimulating investment internally, stimulating investment, encouraging, supporting small and medium scale enterprises. All of that will lead to an increase in revenue.
Right, so let's talk about youth development. What do you have for young people in Ondo State?
Young people, I mentioned it. We have to channel this generation, these young people. They've got a lot of energy and all of that.
Especially in the area, I do apologize for interrupting. Yes. Especially in the area of ICT.
Exactly.
The world has gone digital.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting you brought that up. I think I'm of all the aspirants, I'm the one best able to progress that, to drive that, because I come from a background. I've been in ICT for more than 25 years. I've been a program manager in some of the most reputable organizations in the world. So I know what it takes. What I intend to do, I am particularly proud of what my friend and brother is doing in Ekiti State. We're having Ekiti knowledge zone. I intend to have industrial hubs, to bring in place industrial hubs across the 3 central zones of Ondo State, where we can harness the talents of these kids who are interested in ICT. And one of the things I've suggested in one of my write-ups is that I intend to ensure, I would perhaps be the first governor to insist that ICT must be made, an ICT subject must be made compulsory in our secondary schools. All of these things will help to engender such interest, such drive towards ICT, and by also developing those hubs, we can sort of develop the talents of our youth in a way that they can even bring about enterprises, which ICT driven enterprises, which will help to even bring revenue to the state.
Let's talk about Ayetoro community. That's a community. I'm sure you're aware that that community has been submerged by flood. What do you intend to do to help these people resolve or solve this ecological problem?
Well, that's quite frankly, I'm very, very saddened about that. I come from Ilaje myself, and I've seen people being displaced from these communities. People who have been, who have been connected to a community for several years. All of a sudden, they don't have a place. It's depressing. It's sad. There needs to be urgent action to ensure that all of that surge that happens is dealt with. And my mind goes immediately to what was done, for example, in Babish during the Fashula years. We need to have a concerted action. There needs to be the people need to be brought together. Experts need to be brought together very quickly, urgently to deal with that. It's saddening. It's saddening that we have that kind of situation where people are doing from their homes. I need to, as a matter of urgency, I would seek to find clear solutions. Sort of go and, for example, study, take a review of what was done in Lagos for Babbage, for example. Which helped to stop all of the surge. Try to replicate that, or even find more far-reaching solutions to the problem by bringing the experts together and empowering them to sort of provide that solution, and let's deal with this.
All right, now that you went there, let's talk about Araromi community. There is an Atlantic in that community, and there are those pushing for the establishment of seaports. Are you on the side of this pushing? Do you agree with them?
Seaport is something that it's something that I'm very, very committed to. It's something that I applauded the late governor when he got the license to be able to have that seaport. I think that was a major breakthrough. What we need to do, and you must have seen from my statement that it's something I support. I think that seaport has a potential to expand the economy of Ondo State, to bring greater prosperity to Ondo State. And if, God willing, if I'm elected governor, that's something that I'm very committed to helping to ensure that we achieve. All
right, sir. Because politics is capital intensive, how do you intend to fund your campaign?
Well, interestingly, I've been perhaps one of the most transparent aspirants so far in terms of my campaign. I've got friends, associates, who have been donating money for me because they believe that I can bring remarkable transformation to Ondo State. So my campaign is financed by friends, associates, ordinary folks here who believe that now is the time to have the leadership that can take Ondo State to very, very remarkable heights.
So if you do not get the ticket, what next for you?
Well, if I do not get the ticket, it's obvious I'm a Democrat. I'm somebody who believes in this party. I'm doing this mainly because I want to serve. Look, I left a comfort zone in the UK. Even though I come in here, I've been linked up to Nigeria. I was a very senior manager in the UK. I left that comfort zone to come into the uncertainty of politics. So you must, and I've been doing this for several years. For the last, like I said, I'm the one that is deepest in terms of progressive roots among those who represent themselves. So I've been doing this for a while, and I've been driven by service, to leave a legacy, to leave a name, like my father did, so to say, to leave a name, that I can be very proud of, that my children can be very proud of, to make Ondo State better, to make Ondo State a place where all of the indigenes can be filled with pride. That's what is driving me. So if I don't get it, of course, I'll accept that. and of course, wait for what else God has in store for me.
That's very commendable. I mean, few minutes to go, and I would also like to take you up on some national issues. But before then, what's your reaction to the establishment of state police, forest rangers? Is this the way to go?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is one of the very, very joyful things that I've gotten in recent times. I think President Tinubu has. In supporting this initiative, it is done very well for our country. A state police, I believe, will help to solve the challenges that we have in terms of security. It will help to at least to minimize, if you like, those challenges. It should have come earlier than now, but I think that is a mark of responsible leadership, mark of courage that President Tinubu has supported this initiative, and I think I'm 110% in support of it.
All right. So Nigerians have been reacting to the rising commodity of prices in the country. What do you have to say to this?
Well, it's not a good thing, of course. We want to see a situation where life is easier or more meaningful for our folks. I know the president himself and many of us are pained by this. And I've seen that direct responses by the president, such as bringing more food out of reserves and all of that, and also enjoining the governors to do things that ensures that helps to stimulate. Support the growth of agriculture, giving support to agriculture, and giving more attention to people going to the farms and all of that. So those responses are coming. Ultimately, I'm hoping that with all of these initiatives, all of these responses, and with everyone's hands being on deck, can come to a situation where the price can gradually begin to come down.
Right. So, I mean, we've always talked about the need to diversify the economy from its dependence on oil exports. On the other hand, exports has contributed to the country's foreign reserve. How do you think the government can balance these policies?
Well, I think that we need to be less export dependent. We need to have a country where we pride ourselves on the things that we can produce. We need to encourage local industries to grow. That's probably the best way to grow our economy. We cannot have a situation where, we have all of this taste, around them, things that are imported, and expect, things to happen. So if we are serious about developing this economy, we need to support local industries. We need to support such growth where we've got, local production of items. That's the way. That's very, very important. I want to see a situation where Nigeria is importing quite a lot of stuff across the different areas abroad, and we're priding ourselves. Look at what we're doing, even with entertainment and all of that. We all feel proud about the achievements of our boys in that even with Nollywood and all of that stuff. We need to replicate all of that. In food production, in all of the other different areas.
So because you're aspiring to govern Ondo State, just 2 days ago, the president had a meeting with state governors where he pleaded with them to pay pensions, pay salaries, and a 30,000 minimum wage, despite an increase in the monthly FAC meeting. Yet the president has pleaded with them. What more can we do to hold state governors accountable, so that they can live up to their responsibilities?
Well, I think the state assemblies, across the state, across the country, they have to do more, live up to they're meant to be some kind of play an oversight role over the executive. So I don't think for quite a number of state assemblies, I don't see that. I don't think that is happening as well as it should. So we've got to have a situation where that happens. And we also have to ensure that the people, now we're having a situation where we're having a more enlightened populace, right? We need to continue to educate our people to make their representatives or their governors to make them more accountable. Those things need to have education, and of course ensuring that the House of Assemblies are doing what they should be doing.
Right. So, I mean, I'm sure you'd agree with me that a lot of Nigerian youths of today do not want to go into farming. How do you intend, or what do you intend to do to encourage them to go into farming so that we can produce more in the country and feed ourselves?
Incentivization. That's the word. Incentivization. You see, if you have a situation, if people don't get incentive, they don't feel incentivized, they don't have a situation where they know that if they go into farming, we need to ensure, to make it clear, find ways of doing this, that those who go into farming, they come out, being successful. Whatever way we can achieve this, to ensure that they get the necessary incentives, they get reasonable output from their farming endeavors and all of that. Those kind of things we need to do. That's very, very important. So if we incentivize farming such that our youth see it as a way of climbing the social ladder very rapidly, then they will go into farm. So incentivization is very, very important. So we have to support them, show our bias, clear bias for agriculture.
All right, TDSE, and before I let you go tonight, what more reforms do you think the government needs to adopt in reviving the economy and stabilizing our currency?
Well, I don't think that what the government is doing, it's fine, but the government needs to ensure that with all the raft of policies that it's implementing at the central bank, at the economic council, that all of these implementations are well monitored to ensure that, let's face it, sabotage is part of the challenges that we have in terms of economic policies being implemented. Government has to put in place a situation where we're able to monitor everything, every policy that's been implemented, so that they achieve the envisaged goal.
Right. So, Dr. Ilawo, we can only wish you the very best ahead of your party primaries. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us on Politics Tonight.
My pleasure.